Hi, friends. People often write with confusion about why, on the apparent awakening path, many scriptures and teachers speak in terms of some things or only one thing being real, while all else, the world, all manifestation, or the separate self, must be considered unreal. And different teachers have endeavored to explain this conundrum of real and unreal in various ways. Ramana Maharshi always clarified that only that which is forever, permanent, can be the reality, so all transient, impermanent things appearing on top of this substratum must be unreal. And if that isn't enough of a brain twister, Tony Parsons always says, it's all simultaneously real and unreal. The me mind, of course, cannot get this, because mind can only perceive itself as something real, which in turn experiences every other thing as separate from itself, subject, object, and therefore also quite real. So is there a way to actually comprehend this paradox of what is real or unreal? And is there any value in even trying to? Standing at the seashore, you see a vast body of water you call ocean. Are there really separate drops? Are drops real? You can walk down to the water and draw a small amount into a dropper and then squeeze them out one by one and call them individual drops. But that's just an added concept. They're still just seawater, just vast ocean. And of course, those labels are also merely concepts. It's all just verbal mental gymnastics, and there's no value in determining whether the apparent separate self is truly a real thing or unreal. Whether or not there is a real separate self within the vast only self or consciousness or being is just a matter of perspective and a moot point. The only true value in inquiring to see if the separate self is a real thing is that when you give this transient, impermanent, fleeting thought called I, or self, reality, it creates the illusion of a false identity. And that false identity obscures our seeing that there is only the flow of life happening to no one. The remarkable thing that can happen in the deepest levels of meditation, or sometimes spontaneously, is a stunning realization that the I is just another thought. It's easy to see that when you think, I would like to eat some food, both the food thought and the desire are just passing thoughts with no actual substance or reality of their own. The life-changing revelation is when we see that even the I is just one more quickly appearing and dissolving thought. There isn't actually a self, an ego, a stationary, ongoing center to which all the other fleeting thoughts occur and from which they are experienced. The I only appears to be a real, continuous entity through repetitious conditioning. That's all. Now, you can live out your apparent separate life thinking you really are a separate entity that was born, will die, and has all kinds of problems and suffering in between. Or it can be that life is living this dream and there is no actual separate self it's happening to. Both are fine. Both are the divine. In reality, you are not the doer, so you really don't have any choice over which of those two lives get lived anyway. But for the sake of awakened self-inquiry, if life appears to call you in that direction, it can be useful for a period just to consider the separate self more unreal than being or consciousness, even though they are all empty, so as to break free from the dream illusion that you are a separate entity. Is the ocean happening to drops? Or is it just one whole, a singularity, appearing to manifest, move, and undulate as a whole? We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.